Good morning. It is 9 o'clock a.m. Friday, February 2nd, 2024. And I think I have everything set correctly today. I've got music muted on things. I've got an audio confirmation already. And then I will go unmute internal audio, desktop audio, so that SpeakerBot can come through. And I've got, oh, that's interesting. It's not showing me the chat on OBS. Oh, because I don't have that one on. There it is. Now I have chat in OBS as well. So what else do I got to say? Let's go to channel comments to start the show off. Celestia Guru 11 hours ago regarding yesterday's show. Does it do any good for you to edit the replay of the live stream to delete the second music section? It completely drowned you out. If I go back and edit it, I can't just drop the sound for the music. It'll drop the sound for the music and my microphone. Although from the recorded audio, I might be able to do that and upload it. But no, it wouldn't do any good for me, and I'm going to show you why in a minute here. Only one of the music streams was audible during the replay, not three. I don't know why, but YouTube never made your 9 a.m. live stream visible to me. Better luck on Friday, maybe. I don't know what you mean by visible. Does that mean you didn't get a notification? Or you went to my channel and couldn't find the live stream? Yeah, I don't quite know what you mean by not making it visible to you. But thanks for the comment, Celestia Guru, and I will thumb up and heart that. I'm pretty sure you check in on the videos, so let's see. I'll say I replied at beginning of stream. Do it that way. I'm not going to put a timestamp because it's the beginning of the stream. And then from I am Kinster 08, newsflash, due to being on the links during today's stream, I guess that means he was eating sausage links, or he was clicking around on the internet, browsing through things. During today's live stream, I did watch the replay. I know he was golfing. Just wondering how the song issue went, any notifications or strikes. So let's go look at what happened. What happened? Come over here to the live stream from yesterday. And here we see ineligible for yesterday. And then if I come over to this direction, I'll show you I got an email from YouTube, 6:39 p.m. Pacific time yesterday, letting me know that copyrighted content was detected, Leonard Skinnard. So, yep, not monetized. Now, would it do any good for me to edit it? I can go into YouTube Studio and edit it, and it kind of has an automatic way of taking out copyrighted music. Still takes a while for it to do that processing, but would it do me any good? Well, I'm going to show you here why I say no, it doesn't do me any good. Let's go see why.
Leonard Skinnard?
Yeah, it was Leonard Skinnard yesterday. Skinnard, you're pronouncing it different. Skinnard. And if I come over here to analytics, actually this isn't the way I want to go. So I'm not getting monetization from it. Now that video has 121 views. Let's go down here to a monetized.
I heard Killer Queen by Queen.
Well, okay, you're right. You're right. How did Leonard get? That was Killer Queen that was playing. Leonard Skinnard. I was doing some stuff yesterday with that. Where was there any Leonard Skinnard in that? Yeah, I think there was. Yeah, I think there was a piece of that. I would have to go back and find it, and I'm not going to do that during the live stream because then that'll blow things out of the water for me. So let's see, that one was 295. Let's go to show. There's 126. So how much money do I make off of these views? That's where I'm saying it's not worth it. If I come into analytics for this video from a while back, estimated revenue since it was published, 22 cents. So if I go fix that, I'm probably not going to get another 122 views after fixing it, because the views that happened while it was not monetized, I won't get paid for those. But if I go back and fix it, I stand a chance of getting 22 cents if that video outperforms. But what happens with these Windows Daily is they go flatline after what, a few days? Is that days or hours? Yeah, that's 3 days to get up to its height. So no, I'm not gonna be doing that. Not hardly. Then, so that showed everything about that. Let's go back. I'm gonna go back and look at that ineligible. Video can't be monetized. And where did we see that? Oh, it showed that on the email. Does it say where? Visibility not impacted. No longer monetize it. Now that's interesting. No longer monetize it, but so it was monetized. Was it monetized up until the time that they demonetized it? Did I make money on it before that email was sent? Right now it doesn't show. It says the data is not available yet. So I'll have to go back to it on a later date and look at it. If somebody wants to bother reminding me about that, we'll do that in a future day. Not monetizing. Does it tell us where? View all actions, re-upload, submit, edit out the segment. If I go, I think it takes a while for that to load in the editing screen. It might show me exactly where it's at. Oh, here it is. Content found from 37 to 924. Well, that sounds like all the other artist. Now I'm zoning out on the name. Anyway, you don't need to tell me what that is. Then let's move on. You can do now. I think once I get into the editing of that, it would actually show the detail. All right, I'll do it. Yeah, so I'll get into the video and then to editor. Let's see if it actually shows me where those sections are. Just want to be sure it doesn't play. Audio, let's see, this is just adds an audio editing thing. I don't see anything here that's showing me where that problem is. Seems to me there was some way to just tell it to take out the copyrighted content. Wow, looks like they've got, well, that's a filter library. Starred. No, I don't see it. All right, moving on. Now I'm going to turn off the StreamerBot action so it doesn't keep sending those messages into the chat room. Come back to here and get to my next email, which is from me to me. A few topics that came up yesterday. I got this grouped together for the Bronc 9, and these grouped together for Lawn Dog, and these grouped together for Danielle Emberly. The Bronc 9, he told us yesterday he's lost access to his E drive, and then subsequently, which I didn't see during the show, is he says it shows in Disk Manager. But what is it that is missing? So I'm going to go bring up Disk Management and speculate, could it be as simple as assigning a drive letter to it? I seriously doubt it. I think the next thing to do would be to go into Crystal Disk Info to see what that tells you about the disk. I suspect there's some problem with that drive. Did he say it's a spinning drive? Yeah, spinning drive. I suspect there's some problems with that drive. And when you go into Crystal Disk Info, don't just look up in the upper left corner where it says it's good or ready or whatever and green. You got to look at those detailed numbers and see if there's something there that's a problem. But in disk management here, when you look at your partition, if the partition on that drive that you want to access doesn't have a drive letter showing on it, then right click and choose change drive letter and pass, or assign a drive letter or something like that, and see if that's all you need to do. I kind of doubt that it's going to be that simple, because this is an internal drive. If it were an external drive, that might be the case, but please give us some follow-up on that, Bronc 9, even if you've got it solved by now. Or if you just decide to let it go and replace it, whatever. We'd like to know what you wound up doing. Lawn Dog, I know the machine will work. Done it many times before. What happens if I delete the machine? We're talking about deleting a virtual machine. My keys will still work. What Lawn Dog is doing is he wants to buy a Windows license for a virtual machine, but then he wants to be able to delete that and apply that license to another virtual machine. He says, I can't seem to get a real answer, even from YouTubers that mess with this stuff. They always demonstrate on virtual machine, but I wonder what happens when you delete the machine in regards to the Windows license key. I'm talking about purchasing license key so it'll work properly with all the functions in Windows 11. What happens if I delete a licensed version of a virtual machine? He tells us why he wants to do that in a little bit here. But in this case, I want to do that because I want those missing features to be active. I'm forgetting the name of what happens in the personalization of an unlicensed Windows. The personalization isn't fully functional, true, and I want that functionality. That's why I want to purchase a license key. But as with all my virtual machines, at some point, something goes wrong and reinstallation must occur, starting all over. I want to know what happens with that virtual license key. And he goes on to speculate correctly. I won't correct speculation. I think it might have to become a test subject. Then this will be my opening subject on my YouTube channel. That would be a good thing. Or we could incorporate that here if you'd rather not do it on your own. But either way, great. I think it's very worthwhile since you haven't been able to find it.
We agree to use HDD scan instant crystal disk info.
HDD scan instead of crystal disk info. Is that what you're saying? We agree to use HDD scan instead of crystal disk info. Yeah. Zavim Manor gave us a link a while back to HDD scan, and I'm deducing that is saying that it's better. Crystal disk info doesn't have any shortcomings for me. I don't jump ship to something else just because there is something else. So I'm probably not going to do that unless you give me a good reason why. But anyway, that is a good recommendation for a good recommendation from a reliable recommender for that. Continuing on here, the VirtualBox may have identities in it that, as long as I stay with that version of the VirtualBox, can be reinstalled anyway. So there's lots of questions, not a place for. Oh, here a lot of questions here. Not a place for criticism necessarily for what I'm doing. It's more of a question. Remember, I am not a stable person. So for those of you saying, why in Arthur is he doing it? Well, remember, he's not a stable person by his own acclamation. Acclamation? Yeah, I guess. Daniel Emberley, looking at mid-tower ATX cases, weight varies substantially based on shipping weight, 16 pounds for Be Quiet Pure Base 500, 28 pounds for Lian Li Land Cool, so like a 12-pound difference. After recent RMAs, I will just need a case and power supply to put a spare desktop together. So I think what that happened is she had to return. She had some defective product, but they didn't require her to ship it back. So she still has that product. I think it was a motherboard, maybe CPU, I'm not sure. I think it was a motherboard. And so she's going to use that to build an extra computer because apparently I guess it was working good enough to do that. Just during yesterday's live stream, place the order for Pure Base 500 in white, no glass panels. I like white cases, find it easier to see inside the case. Thank you for giving us all of that, Danielle. Now, then, I have a redirect set for Carrie Holzman's show today. Interesting. This is part 1 of a unique tower build prep. Now, this isn't tower.
Hi, Doug. Check your email off screen.
Okay, check my email off screen. Okay, got it, Speedy. Thank you. I'm guessing that's a screenshot he was promising me. Is it okay for me to show that after I safeguard your email address? Yeah, so this is not a tower, what you normally think of the word tower. Here's the Cooler Master Encore. This it's a tower case that has the power supply and the cooling system already installed, and I think he said cables that are the right length,
Yes.
so that it's a very clean installation. Thank you, Speedy. So that would be interesting. And then I stumbled across this just for fun's sake. I'll use this. I'll copy the URL this time. What Marty McFly's guitar playing actually sounded like in Back to the Future, because of course they dubbed over somebody playing the guitar right. So this video gives you what his guitar playing on stage during the filming of the show actually sounded like. I found that entertaining, so I'm going to give you that. Marty, let's do it this way. Rather than me actually typing all of that, copy that, highlight that, Control V, Windows key V, put in the link, and there you go. If you'd like to see that little piece of entertainment. Speed test before the show started, I was at 23. I forgot to declare checking drop frames. I have currently 238 dropped frames, and I turned on the stats panel in OBS. It shows average time to render frame 7 milliseconds, which is fine. Skip frames due to encoding lag 0, and drop frames network. So these are saying that it is dropped due to network at 0.8%. So you may or may not have experienced any buffering by virtue of that. Ooh, I'm almost below the screen. Now, see, I did all that. So now I think I'm going back. Oh, I know, I'm gonna go look at that email from Speedy. He's programming. I asked him during Fortnite this morning, what is the programming project he's working on? He's programming a reminder app, and it's specifically to have features that he wants in a reminder app. Not that he's intending to market it, it's just so that it's more useful for him. So here's his screenshot that he gave me, my clock he calls it, and he's got reminders here that Doug will be streaming. He's got a 4:30 p.m. What was that? That's not his current time. Voice, he's got some voice interaction with it. He's got an hourly report, read reminders, reminders on, speech on, 12-hour display, adjust reminders. So he's designed this so it is specifically has features that he wants, and without a lot of extra clutter that other reminder apps might have. And he told us that he's not really doing all this because he needs this app or wants this app, but it's a project for learning C+. I think it said C+, C sharp. It said C sharp. I'm not sure. Okay. So thank you for sending that to me, Speedy. Let's see, I need to get back to there and bring this somewhere else. And then go to chat room. Josh Kinder, first one here. John Williams, did you see your shadow this morning? I did not until I turned my bedroom light on. When I turned my bedroom light on, I did see my shadow. I know that's not what you mean. It was raining here when I got up this morning, so shadow, if I went outside, would not be visible. But when I saw your comment in chat, I went and looked out the window, and yes, shadows were visible. So I don't know. Was that yes or no? Happy Groundhog Day, so that means the day is going to repeat over and over and over, right? Isn't that what Groundhog Day is? No. Seldom Ball, I think about half the songs in that trailer sounded familiar to me. Here it's 35 degrees, cloudy with occasional snow flurry, just enough to keep the streets wet. Alice, hello. Oystein, hello. Alice saying hello to Oystein. Seldom Ball, No lead-in today. I don't use any ad blocker. Oh, no lead-in advertisement today. Yeah, ads are, I think they're supposed to be hit and miss. They're not going to see them all the time. And if you see an ad on one of my shows at the beginning, that doesn't mean everybody else saw an ad also. And you don't see the same ads. We've seen all of those things affirmed by people. Richard Rogers, hello. V Minor. Let's see. Against Richard Rogers against out. Or Queen by Queen. Queen, not Freebird. Yeah, I was doing Beat Saber yesterday with Freebird. Not during the show, but I think I might have had a... There's an instant replay that OBS has, and I was doing some experiments with that, and I think Freebird might have been playing during that. You would not have, that's not associated with one of the Little Dougs. So I'll go back and look at that. Selden Ball, to clarify my content, written as, Celestial Guru. When I went to watch yesterday's live stream at about 10 minutes after the hour, I only saw the link to the 9:45 show, which never happened. Oh, yes, that would be the case, because if you go to, well, no, wait a minute. If you go to the URL youtube.com/LWTDB/live, you should have got to the active live stream. If you went to my channel page, let's do it this way. youtube.com/YouTube LWTDB without the live, and then you went to live. I think the scheduled live stream would show to the left of the one that's actually playing right now. Oh, I can demonstrate that. Sure, I can. I'll go over here. Let's see, going back, that shouldn't end the stream. Famous last words. Watch this, Mom. 378, reuse the settings and say part 2. Now, I'm not going to actually be running this, so don't try to watch it. But we're just going to check and see what happens. If we set that up to go at 9:45, done, and then come back to the channel page and see how that shows up, because I think it was probably just that you the way that it showed up wherever you were looking. I don't know where you were at when you were looking. So I do a refresh. If you go do a refresh on my page, you'll be able to see the same thing. So here, this one is live. This one's upcoming. Now this is in YouTube Studio. If I come over here and look at my channel as a YouTube viewer, go to live. How does it show up here? It's not showing the scheduled live. Oh yeah, here it shows part 2. So if you would have just looked at the one that it's usually the live is in this first position, but this one over here is the actual live that's running right now. So if you go look wherever you were looking at, go look at it now, Selden, and see if that clarifies why you weren't able to see it yesterday. Looking for another comment from Selden, not there yet. The 3 mashups. Yeah, I think there is one in there that was Skinnered. Right? He is spelling that wrong, isn't he? Yeah, see? SKYNYRD. Cretin. Don't know your performers, do you? Do you? Oystein, Lawn Dog, don't worry, as long as you don't get more than 99 cents, you won't have to report on your taxes because of how IRS rolls up to the next dollar. I do actually get enough from YouTube to report it. and I have been. Hang on a moment. All right, confirming unmuted. And yeah, YouTube does report, and yeah, I report it to my CPA and it gets filed. It's not a big deal. And actually, the amount that I make, it doesn't roll me up into another tax bracket. It's not a big deal yet. Good morning, Jeff. Skip over those speaker bots. Greg M. Got that rat computer, could not find any malware, but will nuking it and tell owner that all the passwords in Chrome Edge are compromised. She got tricked into using MS Edge as default browser by Microsoft. Let's see. No, I guess that's the end of that thought. Skipping a little bit. Ken, how did you make that box pop up when you go make the first chat comment asking for a friend? Oh, how did you make that box pop up when you go to make the first chat comment? When you go to make the first chat comment, I'm not understanding the first chat comment up here. How did I make that box pop up? Are you referring to where I'm showing chat in OBS? Yeah, don't quite know where you're asking. What box pop up? Selden confirms, must have been confused by the order of the links on your live page. Sorry I was late on the phone with my grandma. Hello, Bobby. If it's an old mechanical hard drive, anything can happen. I'm taking anything over a year old. It has a significant amount of time on it. Did you miss that box pop up? Maybe your reflex are getting slow.
No, in the chat box. Before I could type, a box popped up and I had to say, got it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I know what that was. I was poking around looking at things, and I recently stumbled across this. Let's see, you go to Studio. There's a new feature, and it might not be available in everybody's studio. So I went into Studio, then to Settings, and then to, let's see, is it Community? Yeah, Channel Guidelines. This thing here I think is new. And here it says Experiment. So because it's Experiment, it might be not available in all studios. So welcome message, I put this in, you're welcome here no matter what your skill level is, and guidelines, comment on any of my videos to request chat privileges, and I prefer chat related to computer tech issues. Some friendly chit chat is also welcome. Trolling equals blocked. So those are the things that you might be seeing. So Ken says he saw that. Did any of the rest of you see something extra that you had to click to agree on? What this says here is add up to 3 guidelines for people to acknowledge before they comment or participate in live chat for the first time. Now, I'm assuming that's the first time since I created the guidelines. If it turns out to be the first time every live stream, I'll probably turn that off. Let's see. Can I scroll this down? It's where I got good. Okay, Zavi says yes, he did see it. Each guideline must follow our community guidelines and will be available to view in the YouTube app. Learn more, see example guidelines below. Example guideline. Yeah, before I typed these in, I think it had some sample text in there, and it only allows 85 characters. So you don't get to go, yeah, here's the sample text when I delete that. And then here when I delete this, there's the sample text and the sample text. So that one's 60 characters, 85 characters. And this one's 60 characters. I'm gonna cancel out of here so I don't save those changes. So, yeah, I didn't recognize that as a box pop-up. I mean, I haven't experienced that. I agreed to use HDD. If you're saying that I agreed, no. I think I probably affirmed that it looked like an attractive product, but I'm not going to spend time learning it when Crystal Disk gives me what I need. If you make more of a case why, what feature it is about it you think I would care about, I think get more deeply into it than I do. I very rarely need Crystal Disk info. It's only if I suspect there's a problem with the hard drive. And when I look at those numbers, boom, I'm done. Let's see. Doug, I think I have one answer to the license key issue on virtual machine. After the machine is created, get a clone copy within VirtualBox and store it safely. Then if the copy I experiment on goes bad, I should have the original clone copy available to start over again. I think, Londog, the digital licenses are affected by if you change your motherboard or if you change your CPU. We know that those things can affect your digital license. So on a virtual computer, however the computer provides the digital license, however that's synced up, is that unique to each of your virtual computers, such that a different virtual computer, even if it's a clone, will those ID numbers, SIDs I suppose, I think would be the right term to use, it seems to me they would likely be different, because it seems to me that Microsoft would need to identify that's a different computer. It's not the same computer. So it would seem to me that a virtual computer would have a unique SID. Am I using the right term for that? And that's what the digital license would be associated with. So you'd have to try it to find out, unless you find someone that documents it. If I had my virtual computers still available, I already trashed them, I wouldn't mind spending the money to test it. $15. Where am I going?
Yes, Doug, I thought YouTube had reset chat. Speedy.
I need to change this somehow. How do I get that? Okay, I'll close that. If you close the dockable window, you have to show it again. I'm trying to, I like seeing chat on OBS here, but with this controls page on, it's just not tall enough. So let's move that dock around so I can see better. Let's see what he said. I thought YouTube had reset chat. I guess that's in relation to those policies that you had to click on. So here's this HDD scan that Savi likes. So smart test tools. Crystal Disk Info doesn't do any tests. It just reports the smart info. So this HDD scan is going to do more than Crystal Disk Info does. Because it actually does tests. Smart is what Crystal Disk Info gives you. And it doesn't have, I don't think it has anything that this would have in tools. So it's definitely more capable of a program to use with hard drives. I'm still not attracted to going to it, just because Crystal Disk Info, I know where to get it, download it, boom, it's quick, easy. All I'm interested in is the smart info. Zavi, please know that you're welcome to bring that up anytime the subject of checking hard drives comes up, because I'm probably not going to remember it. Good to use on a mechanical hard drive. I imagine that's useful too for SSDs. Zavi can answer that for us. Let's see, we did that already. Reported defective equipment and went through the process and even got a replacement of the product. And yes, occasionally they do not want the broken device back, probably because it's not worth it, but a motherboard would be kind of interesting. I think that's in relation to, what was it, Danielle's build, because she did had some defective parts. A lot of times they don't bother bringing them, having you ship them back, because they don't want to do anything with them. They want to save them and yourself the shipping expense. I bought a personal product that was supposed to come quantity 2. It came quantity 1. So I went to file a claim with Amazon, and they're resending 2. They're resending the full shipment, and they told me I don't need to send back the original. So I've had that happen a lot of times where you have some reason to return something or the shipment wasn't right, and you try to get them to fix it, and they just send it again. You don't have to send the original back. Bonus, don't take advantage. That happens. That works for me because I don't abuse it. I think if they see a pattern of somebody doing that over and over, it'll stop for you. Daniel, I purchased a new motherboard and later a new CPU. RMAs were done after the repairs, giving me the extra parts. Yeah, RMAs were done, but you didn't have to send the parts back, right? I wonder if the motherboard is like a known defective type of motherboard or some kind of problematic motherboard. No need to return for analysis or credit to the company. I think the problem that was happening on that motherboard is her CPU was overheating. And there was a controller on, there's some kind of a controller on the motherboard, or it I think it was throttling because it thought it was overheating. There's something about that. And people within the community here, I think Jim was part of that. I think Zavi was part of that, saying that
Over
that had to
voltage.
be motherboard. Over voltage, that was it. It was over voltage and causing it to be too hot. So she could work around that. Okay, come up with a workaround. You know, maybe with a different CPU or some way to deal with it and still get some use out of it. I like this speaker bot because you guys can come throw in with something that I'm not remembering right off the bat while I'm talking about it. Thank you for reminding me. It does include SSDs apparently. Somehow I skipped over this. All kinds of storage. Okay, yeah, all kinds of storage, including SSD. I don't know why I skipped over that. Yeah, got that. SSDs, I tend to use manufacturers' inspection tools, but those only apply to motherboard name brand products. So having that tool is useful. Hello, Drew. Welcome. Drew played with us in Fortnite this morning. Marty McFly, Ghetto, it was C# for that Speedy was using, I guess. Richard Rogers says hello. Skimming over a little bit. Essential working too hard. Hello. Rainy day in Connecticut. Brian Lightfoot. Ads on YouTube are like leprechauns. Some people see them, some people don't. I am Groot. Oh boy, I skipped way over. I'm way over time, aren't I? Skimming. The second go round of music is at 12:57. If you're not going to get that 22 cents for monetization, does that mean I'm going to get a Christmas present this year? No, in the chat box before I could type. Yeah, got it. People who get YouTube experiments, they are by the algorithm considered to be the cool people and worthy of such experimentation. Oh, people who are given the experiments. So you're saying the algorithm considers me to be a cool person and worthy of experimenting on? Did they inject me with something? Do I need to be worried? Wintermute got it. Zavi got it. This is around the time when we were asking about that. Sheldon thinks he saw it only once several days ago. I only turned that on recently. I've also seen pop up from YouTube reminding me of moderator duties. I'll go back and read these a little more carefully. Are you experiencing flooding in your area? I'm not. Usually when there's flooding in California areas, it doesn't affect Fresno. Alice enjoyed Ken's premiere. Skimming. All right, I will read those through more closely. I'm out of here. I'm about to leave. This is it. We're done. We're through. Kaput. Over with. Send an email if you got a question or a picture of something you're working on or something that you think the community might be interested in. Have a great day, everybody. Goodbye.